I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and I'm here today for a fun, spring-filled, colorful live stream. And I think that we will have a lot of fun. Good morning, everyone. I had to get the preview synced up and stuff so that way we could start rolling. But I think we are ready to go. So I'm really excited. So today's live stream is a tiny bit different from normal. As you might know, this week I launched my Patreon page, which is sort of like a membership subscription, a way for people to support creators that they love. And so in this case, it would be a way if, we've talked in the past about ways that you can help financially support the ChemKnits Tutorials YouTube channel, and Patreon is a way that you can sign up to contribute monthly. And in exchange for sort of subscribing and becoming a patron of ChemKnits, I'm offering some cool rewards. And so some of the rewards are early access to one dyeing video a month, and also exclusive behind-the-scenes sneak peeks. So I'll do some Patreon exclusive live streams for patrons that I'll sort of live stream while I'm filming a dyeing episode, so you can get like an early sneak peek before I release the edited video. So today is sort of a sneak peek of the sneak peeks. So I'm filming this stream, but I'm also filming a video that I'm planning to edit and release on the ChemKnits Tutorials YouTube channel, hopefully by next weekend. So this will be the Passover Easter special that will come out. And so that is my my hope and plan beyond all that. But yeah, so I will be able to engage with you guys between takes. You'll see how long some of the weight steps really are and things like that. But also you'll get to see sort of the dyeing process before the edited video comes out. And so that's really fun. So I've been really looking forward to playing around with this technique a long time. So today I'm going to be using these Color Whip Easter egg dye kits to try to make a marbled yarn. Now I have pre-soaked two different types of yarn. Good morning, everybody. I pre-soaked both a Stroll sock blank, but I also pre-soaked just a hank of Stroll fingering weight yarn. I'm not sure what the final volume is of this food safe foam that we will create from the kit. So depending on the volume, maybe we'll decide to use the hank of yarn, or maybe we'll decide to try the sock blank. Either way, on the cookie sheet that I've got up on my counter, we will create a really cool, hopefully marbled pattern using the colors that come in this kit. And so for sort of a close-up, so the kit will come with, in addition to egg stands and stuff, there's 4 different colors of dye. But then presumably with the marbling techniques, we will get more colors as they sort of mix together. It comes with the powdered pouch, and it comes with gloves. That's pretty cool. I mean, it would be useful to have gloves with this. Hello, everybody. Welcome. So I already filmed the introduction for the video I'm going to edit. But to let you know in terms of what the ingredients of the stuff in here is, the food colorings have yellow 5, red 3, blue 1, and red 40. So standard food colors that we would expect. Oh, Pauline, no worries. I really just got started. And then the whip powder ingredients include sugar and some enzyme modified soy protein. And so in just a moment, we will try to mix that with powder. Now, oops, I don't think my water is room temperature. Maybe I'll measure out some lukewarm water, so it's approximately room temperature. And I'm planning to use an electric mixer to whip up the foam, because it says that you want stiff peaks, and it says it'll take about 3 minutes with an electric mixer. So that means I probably did not want to try it by hand. Otherwise, I might try it by hand first. But I think that this will be really fun. And I wish that, so right now on the surface, you're seeing one view of this cookie sheet, and the other camera is on the other side. So there's one at the top and one at the bottom. So the the edited video will sort of be flipped from what you guys are going to see today. I would tilt the camera up so I could show you the way that I have my camera set up for filming the episode, except it is a little precariously perched right now because I don't have a second full tripod. So I have a mini tripod and a stool, and it's sort of, the webcam sort of hanging in there. So in the future, I'll probably try to show more like behind the scenes what the camera, tripod, everything looks like. But I'm not sure if I'd be able to get it stable again. So that is why I'm not going to be moving that the webcam that I am streaming from. I guess, oh, one other thing is, since I do have 2 of these kits, if we don't have enough foam, if it looks like, because, you know, eggs are so much smaller than, say, like a sock blank. If it doesn't look like we have that much foam, then we can potentially use the second package as well. I did include, in addition to a link to my Patreon, which is, I put in the chat, it's in the video description, and there's like a little info symbol, you can find that there as well. I do have links to the Stroll fingering weight yarn, which is back in stock, the Stroll sock blanks, and you can find these kits on Amazon, but they are really expensive on Amazon. I think I got them for $3 at a grocery store. I found them, if you're in Massachusetts, I found them at Roach Brothers. But yeah, so you can usually find these way cheaper in person than you can online, but I did include the link just because usually places like Target don't sell them, won't ship them, and sometimes they won't let you even like order to pick up. So anyway, welcome everyone. I'm so glad you guys were able to join me. So let's go get started making this foam and doing this live stream behind the scenes filming, and ooh, that's gonna be fun. I am really, really excited today, in case you can't tell. I've been wanting to play with these for a while, but I wanted it to be like an edited video versus like a longer live stream, and I'm like, I can do both, and then preview what like I'm gonna give for patrons on the Patreon, and yay! So I'm excited to start playing with some fun colors. How do I store the dye? So the dye pouches, and I'll open up the kit in just a second when I stand up. The dye pellets that are solid come in a little sealed plastic bag. So I store those, and actually let me see if I can find, I might be able to grab one real quick. So the dye pellets come, these aren't the kind of pellets that will be in this kit because it's liquid, but they come in this little sealed package. And so I put those in a Ziploc bag, and then I add a tag of the year and the brand and the type of the kit that it came from. And then I will usually post on my local parenting forum to see if anyone wants the stickers and all the other egg dyeing stuff, because yeah, usually that is useful. I'm glad you like my enthusiasm. Okay, so and here's where things will get different. All right, so I've got my 2 cameras. All right, so now I am filming in 2 cameras, and so maybe you'll get a sense of what I edit down. So here is the kit, and so let's open it up and see what is inside. Eek. Okay, and like a lot of kits, it's got the like egg stand thing, and oh, you've got like egg bands on the side that you could break down later. Okay, so we've got some plastic gloves, which I will probably use my own nitrile gloves just because they fit tighter to the skin and it's a bit easier to use. All right, we've got our packet of whip powder that does not say anything else on it. And then here are the packages of the liquid food coloring. So what I think, once we have the foam on the cookie sheet, we will sort of snip a corner of these to apply the dye, and then use like our finger or something to swirl the colors together for the marbled effect. I do have, and I think one that comes with more colors, a POS kit that came with the liquid food colorings that had more, it had more colors, maybe, I'm not sure. But I haven't actually played with the Easter egg liquid food colorings before. And now I'm just checking the box. Yeah, spread the foam 1 inch thick and slowly drizzle on the foam. And use a toothpick to swirl around. Okay, I'm gonna grab some toothpicks. I think I have toothpicks at least. I do, but because of the tripod, I have to walk all the way around my island. Okay, so we have toothpicks. So, all right, so to recap the equipment, I've got the foam and the food coloring from our Color Whip kit, toothpicks for swirling, my electric mixer for whipping up the foam, and a container. I have covered my work surface with some plastic wrap that I plan to use to wrap up the yarn to steam it on the stovetop after we've applied the color. And oh, and yeah, I've got the cookie sheet where we'll actually do the foam. Oh, I'm not a kindergarten nerd. I'm not a kindergarten teacher, but I do love teaching. I have already pre-soaked the yarns, and I've pre-soaked the yarns in tap water with 3 tablespoons of vinegar today. I decided to go with a little more vinegar than what I usually do because I wanted to. I did a little more vinegar because I wanted to make sure that the colors will set quickly. If we get some really, really cool marbling, I didn't really want to miss out on anything cool. So that was that reason. And now, I did not pre-measure water. Maybe we will get enough foam that we can have a pretty large surface area. I'm not sure. All right. But it's funny because it's definitely different. What I'm realizing right now, I feel different when I'm talking to myself versus when I'm talking in a live stream. And when I'm filming a pre-filmed video, it's a lot more like I'm talking to myself. So that's funny. Welcome, everyone. All right. Now let's try whipping up this foam. So I just added, since I did not pre-measure room temperature water, I just added 1/3 cup of lukewarm water that's approximately room temperature into this bowl. It's a 4-cup bowl. Hopefully it is large enough for the foam that we're going to recreate. And turns out I was not filming when I said all that. So this is the behind the scenes look, and you'll get to see me say that approximately again. I added 1/3 cup of some approximately room temperature water. I used lukewarm water into this 4-cup bowl. And now I'm going to use my electric mixer and this powder to create the foam that we will use for the marbling technique. Hopefully the 4-cup container is large enough for the foam we're going to make, but we will find out. And it looks like, oh no, there is at the bottom thing to tear. It smells kind of like, I mean, it has an odor. I can't really describe very well what it smells like. It definitely, you can smell the sugar. Okay, now let's see if I can fit this around the tripod without losing the camera. Okay, so I've got my hand mixer. You can mix this by hand, but the instructions said to whip it for like 3 minutes until you get stiff heat. So that's why I decided not to try to do this by hand. So I will come back once the foam is ready to go. And for you live stream people, I'll stick around, of course. But Let's see, it's 10:46. Let's see how long this takes. Sorry about the sound, everyone. Oh, of course, I don't really know the difference between a soft peak and a stiff peak. Can you, there, kind of, the brightness is such that it's hard to see, but it is sort of keeping shape. And I definitely stirred this for way less than 3 minutes, but I'm going to stir a little longer. Now, fill in a little more. Okay, that looks like, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a little blown out for you guys if you can see, but that looks like some stiff peaks to me. Will it come off? Yeah, that is definitely holding its shape. So I think we are ready to go and to try to spread this onto the cookie sheet. Okay. Ooh. I can smell this is a very old mixer. And it's like, hello, Rebecca, you have not used me in a long, long time. Okay, so we've got, let's see. We've got probably about 3 cups of liquid, of foam in here. So that's actually more than I was expecting from using only 1/3 a cup of water. So I think that that's pretty cool. And, oh goodness, it doesn't really say how to spread it out, but I think I want to use a spatula. And I'm wondering how fast, maybe I should get the yarn ready to go. Can you guys see? No. Okay, I've got my salad spinner here. And I'm going to put the pre-soaked yarn to the salad spinner to remove as much of the water as I can. So that way, hopefully, when we add the yarn or the blank on top of the colored foam, it will, I don't know. I just think it's a good idea to remove a lot of the excess liquid. So, okay, I've still got my blank nice and folded. I mean, the cookie sheet, there's more surface area on a blank than there is on the cookie sheet. So if I think that we can get good coverage around the whole cookie sheet, then I'm going to get creative with how I put the blank on. And if you guys have any questions, please ask them. I can't entirely read the chat from where I'm standing, but I am planning to do my best. And if I see a question pop up, then I can answer it. And, oh, so I guess one more quick Patreon thing. So the Patreon is a way to contribute monthly. But I know a lot of you have also been contributing. You can do a one-time contribution, and not through Patreon, but an easy way to do that is with the super chat button while I'm doing a live stream. But again, also watching my videos, liking my videos, commenting on my videos is a great way to support me. So, all right, now I just need to do a quick clip for the edited video. I ran the yarns through the salad spinner to remove as much of the pre-soaked water as possible. I didn't want there to be too much extra liquid when I add these onto our marbled foam. I'm not entirely sure why, but it just seemed prudent to remove excess liquid before we got started. All right, that was that scene, and now I can move things back. We've got our yarns ready to go, our cookie sheet ready to go, and I am going to check for any questions. And then, oh, did I not grab the spatula? Of course not. It's really hard when I have to walk all the way around my island. Let's use the purple one. We're feeling purple today. I mean, I'm feeling purple every day. So, and, oh, I can't really use my mouse when I'm wearing gloves. But, all right, hi guys. Yeah, so thank you all for joining me. Yeah, I think that, and I know someone has used whipped cream or Cool Whip to do this, and so I think I might try that in the future. But when I saw that, and people use this with shaving cream all the time, I'm just not sure about rinsing the shaving cream out of yarn because there's usually extra fragrance and stuff. But I think that this could work nicely. So, all right, I'm going to go for it. And, okay. Let's go for it. And I'm going to move this so that way you guys can see. Hopefully, I know it's a bit blown out because of the black tray, but hopefully that will be better soon. All right, let's add this foam onto our cookie sheet and start spreading it out. It's said to have it about like an inch thick, but it feels like I can spread it pretty far. I mean, eggs are smaller than the yarn that we're planning to do, but I am feeling optimistic that I can sort of squish a blank onto here. And yeah, and if the colors are too pale, we can always overdye the blank later. So, but the purpose of the gloves, everything is food safe that I'm using today. The purpose of the gloves is to just keep my hands from getting all food coloring-y. Yes, that is a scientific term, everyone. All right. I think I'm going to try the blank because the skein of yarn would be really cool as well. But I think that on the blank we might be able to see some of the cool swirls that we get. All right, let's do this. So on the picture, and I'll show both cameras. On the picture, they have you doing, oh, there we go. They have you doing sort of dots and then swirling it around. So, and these are not really that easy to separate. I am cutting them apart because I do not want to try tearing them and then end up with food coloring splatter all over the place. Okay, let's start with red. So I just clipped the corner off of this food coloring packet. You're wondering if the foam prevents breaking. That would be interesting. Oh, okay, that's coming out pretty fast. Cool. And oh, I didn't think this through. Okay. I was like, I didn't think through because I'm planning to use the plastic wrap to wrap up the yarn. Well, maybe I should have needed it thicker, but we're going for it, guys. We're going for it. And actually, who needs a toothpick? I probably could do this with one of these packets. Whoa, blue. I don't think I clipped very big corners. It's possible there's more food coloring in here that I've missed, but all right. Oh, thank you, Chrissy, for the super chat. I am honored to be a stash enabler. All right, let's mix these colors. And maybe I should use the packet because this, I've never played with marbling before. I mean, this is fun. Just the toothpick isn't, it's slow. Hopefully we don't, and I probably should have had more like separation of the colors. I have another packet, so we can always do some more. Oh man, look at the color on my hand. Woohoo! Okay, I am actually, because I want to do some broader strokes, I'm going to use this spatula to do some. So we've got some smaller sections, then to do some sort of other sort of swirls. All right, I think I'm gonna sort of leave it like that because, but I actually think that this would be really fun unpainted. Okay, but I do have food coloring on my gloves, so let's see if I can rinse some of this off. Oh goodness, and make sure that I am still filming. Okay. All right, I feel like that I could sort of marble this a bit more, but I think that maybe I should have had the colors in more separate quadrants as I went, but I have our pre-soaked sock blank, and let's start adding this on top of the foam. And everybody wish me luck. All right. I am sort of draping it over my shoulder so that way I can go about this sort of slowly. Because I want to like push it as well to sort of help. All right. I think I only got like half the blank on. But maybe I can pick that up onto the, or actually, this is what I'm going to do. We are going to fold it in half. And let some of these colors sort of come through both sides. And I get cool. I have no idea. This is sometimes what happens when I sort of go make things up as I go along. I thought I'd be able to like fit more on here, but folding it over, ooh, wow, was kind of a fun idea. Okay. So what we have here now is we've got the color. I mean, if I peel this up, the foam is basically in the blank. So what I'm going to do is pull this over, sort of transfer the blank onto the plastic wrap. And let me show you what is left. You can really see the impression of the yarn on the foam. I'm not sure if you guys can see that super well. I have a good shot for the video, but that's really, really cool looking. And we definitely have like a really cool marbled design. Now, all right, viewers at home, should I take some of this excess off of here and sort of hand apply it to the like this edge that didn't get very much? Or should I just go ahead and steam this as is? I'm going to come around, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But I am really excited. And I sort of want to play around with this. I might set up the other one to do on the yarn that I pre-soaked. So let me see. Yeah, excuse me. I'm amazed how, you know what this reminds me a lot of? As I come over here. This reminds me a lot of the roving that I dyed that looked like a garden party with all of the way the different colors sort of came together. You should steam as is. Oh, okay, so wait. Yes, as is, apply the extra color. Okay. I think I will apply a tiny bit of extra color to the fold. But I'll try to do it on the bottom side. I could have always, right. I know I could have used half a blank with each pack, but sometimes when I have to because I thought that I'd be able to sort of like scrunch it as I went. I think if I started with a dry blank and then maybe squirted it with some vinegar water after the fact, that might have been easier for me to sort of like scrunch it up onto the foam. But yeah, in the like split second, I was like, oh, what am I gonna do here? Like you said, I dyed Rogaine instead of roving. Whoops, I meant roving. Yes, this reminded me of the roving that I did with the spring colors. So, all right, I am going to stand up. And it's funny because when I'm looking at you guys and like, since you guys are seeing the opposite of what I see. And all right, so there is a tiny bit of extra dye. And I want to apply it to this part. I'm going to use the spatula. I'm going to apply some of the dye to this part of the blank because this didn't get very much color, and I don't really want there to be a white patch a huge white patch in the middle of the gradient. So I'm going to apply that there, and then of course I'm not wearing gloves anymore, but I can press it and get red food coloring on my hands, but also then bring some more color. But actually, it sort of comes through really, really well. I can add. I'm really curious what will happen as we steam it. Oh dear. What did my camera do? Am I out of? Ha, okay. Maybe I wasn't filming there. I'm not sure. I just took some of the excess dye from the pan onto the spatula and applied it to some of this intermediate portion between the darker colors and the paler colors, so that way there's not really a white stripe striking in between them. Everything is going to get a bit more, I guess, pressed as we roll this up in the plastic wrap into a jelly roll. But yeah, so we might end up with some more color than we expect on that other side. But here is what the cookie sheet looks like now. And I'm going to set this aside, and we can wrap up our blank. Why was I not filming again? What is going on with my camera? Let me see. Did I keep? What on earth was I doing? Why was I not filming again? What is going on with my camera? Oh my gosh, I was filming and then I turned it off. Wow, you guys. I am brilliant. Okay. Maybe I wasn't filming there. I'm not sure. How long is this clip? I just took some of the excess dye from the pan onto the spatula and applied it. Okay, so I have something filmed. Yeah, there should be enough space on the memory card. I don't know what I was doing. So yeah, so now, all right, I first need to wash my hands because I've got foam on my finger. Yeah, see, when I say you're getting a behind the scenes look of what goes into filming an episode, I really do mean it. Behind the scenes, sometimes I'm like, what's going on? And all this stuff. So this is, I mean, you see this kind of stuff happen in live streams as well. It's just there's a little extra blooper-ness in when I'm doing the live streams. Okay. So now I am going to take the plastic wrap that I had used to protect the work surface and use that to roll up this blank. So you guys should all hopefully be able to see just fine. You can see some of these bright colors that we have on the first side compared to those paler colors we were getting on the back. And now what I'm going to do is squeeze it a little bit. This should help. Ooh, funny, there's still some foam in there. This should help some of the colors penetrate what will be the paler section of this mottled, crazy, spring, fabulous pattern. So now I'm going to take this and put it inside my steamer basket for 20 minutes to set the color. Now, let me set the timer and film a quick The reason why I am not microwaving this today is I'm not sure what microwaving the foam might do to it. So it seems a bit safer to steam it on the stovetop in a steamer basket. All right. So basically, if this were, oh my goodness, and I have the pan on the floor where I'm going to sit down. So if this were one of the Patreon exclusive behind the scenes videos, this is probably where it would stop with a little bit more chat. So you would get sort of like, you know, either the dyeing process, or sometimes it might be the setup if I'm doing something cool like spinning something to dye or something like that, or it could be a peek, you know, at any, you know, maybe it could be a reveal sneak peek. There's many different stages of the filming process that I will showcase on these Patreon exclusive behind the scenes. Now, I'm still going to be doing normal live streams for everybody. So, you know, there'll be times that I'll come live and I'll try something new, or we'll play and have a lot of dyeing fun. But today's is a bit different because I was filming an episode, a video that I'm going to edit and share after the fact. And I don't normally edit my live streams down into a pre-filmed video. So that's what makes today a little different. But I'm going to go ahead and pop my Patreon link. And I know some of you have already become patrons, and so thank you so much. Again, I know there's so many different ways for you to support me, both financially and in just in terms of my reach. You know, and so by watching videos, interacting with my videos, that is a huge way to support me, because when you comment on videos and are engaging with it like that, I think that helps the reach that it goes to YouTube as a whole. And so that's a huge way to help me. And then the other ways, you know, the Patreon is a way to sort of consistently help me be able to buy like some of the materials that are a little more atypical, a little more expensive, and it just helps me produce these videos that I can make available for free for everybody. So yes, I am wondering if the steaming will cook the whip. I'm very curious about a lot of that. How long do you put yarn in the microwave when it is sitting in liquid? Ooh, so that, when I'm doing like a kettle dyed in the microwave, I forget, it's been a while. I have a video, like the high C video is one where I did it, and I usually get it till it starts bubbling a bit. It doesn't need to be a rolling boil, but I'll let it bubble, then I'll let it cool down, and if there's still color in the dye bath, then I might heat it again. So Patreon is like Kickstarter in that it's a crowdfunding kind of platform. But the difference is that a Kickstarter campaign is for like a specific thing. And so then there's an eventual sort of end and conclusion to the Kickstarter campaign. the Patreon is an ongoing thing. So if you sign up as a patron, you are contributing to ChemKnits on a monthly basis, or until you decide to cancel. I mean, you can. I think that at this stage, if you sign up today, Patreon wouldn't charge you for the first time until the first of the month, and so then I think then they usually charge credit cards, or I think you can do PayPal as well. I'm not entirely sure, but then they charge you. You get charged on the first of the month. Thereafter, until you cancel, or if you never cancel, then no, Nanette, I'm live. You have not missed it. So it is in some ways very similar to Kickstarter, but in other ways it's different because it's more ongoing support. Do I have any videos showing my whole yarn stash? No, but I will definitely do. And do you mean my yarn stash beyond my hand-dyed yarns? I have some picture posts on ChemKnits.com that show like when I've been moving and reorganizing my stash, the pile of yarn that I have. But when I start doing, so my next big project is to do everything I need to do to set up an Etsy shop and plan a de-stash sale. And there will definitely be pictures of the whole stash as going into that. Oh, thanks, Tabitha. So yes, PayPal is an option on Patreon. And yeah, I think that it seems like a cool platform. It's sort of a way for, I mean, it really is a way to become a patron of a creator or an artist that you enjoy. And so since I share so many videos, I've set mine up on a monthly basis versus a per creation basis. But some people who might only make, 2 or 3 things a year could have patrons, or on a quarterly basis, they can do it per creation. So you can support some people every, on a less frequent basis, depending on how they've set it up. Oh, good morning. Oh, that's awesome. But yes, Etsy is coming. And as one of the rewards for Patreon are, at some levels, there are coupons that when I have a de-stash sale, I will give a monthly coupon as long, if there's inventory in my Etsy shop, patrons will get a monthly, at those levels, will get a coupon good for the entire month. And then the next month they'll get another coupon, etc. But patrons can also get notice of exactly when I'm going to do the restock. So that way, you'll get advance notice of, if I'm going to start it at 9 a.m. on whatever date, then so you get a little bit of a heads up before I start, sharing on social media that like, hey, I've got stuff in the shop. So if you're anticipating it, then you can maybe get there first and get sort of first dibs. And so that's another way that I thought that I could thank people for becoming patrons. In order to get the coupons, you do need to, because of the way that my account is set up right now, that there's not a pay up front option. So you get charged on the first of the month, which means that even if you sign up on, say, April 2nd, you wouldn't be charged until May 1st. So therefore, I'm planning to send the coupons via personal messenger to, as long as you have paid for your level, then you're eligible for the coupon. But you'll still get immediate access to the behind the scenes videos of your level and the early access video and things like that. So yeah, so this is, yeah, Patreon is still a learning process for me. I'm new to the platform. I was a lot more familiar with Kickstarter before I did the Kickstarter campaign, but I know a lot of you have been encouraging me to get on Patreon, so I wanted to do that. But I anticipate opening up the Etsy shop for the first time sometime in April or at the latest early May. I'm aiming to get this going before the end of April. So yeah, I think that I'm very optimistic about that, but I think that there's some paperwork and stuff I need to do and things, and then the pictures and everything, but I'm pretty excited, and I'm not sure yet how frequent de-stash sales will happen. I think it depends on how quickly I move the inventory that I have and things like that. But yes, if I know that a monthly contribution isn't something that a lot of people can necessarily swing, but that's why, so ways to support me are super chats and live streams, we now got the Patreon, and then when I do de-stash sales, that's a way that you can buy some of the yarn that you've seen in these videos, and that's a big way that you'd be able to support me as well. And I'm just realizing that I should make my face bigger because there is not anything on the counter. So in theory, yes, as the creator, I could download my YouTube video and then edit after the fact. It would be pretty difficult for me to do just because of sometimes they're hours and hours long, and so it's a lot of footage, and things aren't necessarily cleanly done. Like there's a slight difference between the way I talk in a live stream where it's very stream of consciousness, and I do try to compose my thoughts a tiny bit more for the pre-filmed video. So but today, since I had the two cameras, if there was something that I missed because I accidentally was not filming on my DSLR, then I could go and download this and then insert something from the actual live stream. Yes, it is a pity that Patreon does not have like a yearly or a one-time donation button. That is one downfall with Patreon, because I know that, I know that it's something that's harder. But so, I mean, I haven't set up a PayPal donation button because I don't know how that really works. So that's not something I've really looked into yet. But YouTube takes a higher percentage of super chats than Patreon takes of things over there in terms of fees and stuff. So yeah, I don't know, but all of it is ways that really help. Let's see. You love the hours and hours long because you just keep me going in the background. Ah, I know sometimes they're long. Sometimes people watch me on double speed too, which I tried once and it was hilarious. I know how to work tech. I mean, I know how to work tech a little bit. I mean, my edits are pretty rough sometimes, but that's because I try to, I know you guys forgive me for some like shaky camera and stuff sometimes. So, graphic novels would be cool. YouTube takes YouTube has a percentage of the super chats, and Patreon. So basically, the reason why Patreon has some fees, because they take there's payment fees for credit cards, which are variable, and then I think that they have themselves a 5% fee for allowing me to use their platform for fundraising. YouTube, I think, has some fees for similar reasons with payment processing, but then also I am able to use YouTube for free. So I am able to stream for free. I am able to host, probably terabytes of of data from these videos. And so I don't really mind the YouTube taking a cut, because I know that if I had to like find a way to host and like code all of the stuff myself, that would be hard. But yeah, so I don't know. This is all a learning process, since I did the Kickstarter last fall, and that was me really leaning in to ChemKnits and to the channel and trying to make videos regularly. And I really thought, I was like, man, the Patreon will keep me on track. I'll release a new video every week. It'll be great. I had no idea how engaging it would be to interact with all of you in live streams, and that I would decide to try to do 2 new videos every single week. And so I know someone has asked if that's going to change with the Patreon, and absolutely not. My goal is to do frequent live streams and to continue to release, I mean, guaranteed 1, but I'm aiming for 2 videos every single week for, as long as I can. And the Patreon is one way that you guys can help me continue to do that, because when I'm starting to explore, things like originally some of the videos I was starting off doing mini skeins, and so, but not every video makes enough necessarily in ad revenue to cover the materials that I use, and so that's one reason for like the Patreon and stuff. So, hi, welcome. So what I've started doing today is we've been using these, for those of you that just joined, Oh no, where's my package? All right. Today we are playing with these color whip sort of foams and marbling techniques. And I just did it on a sock blank, which I can't see the timer from here, but should be finishing up soon. And it's pretty cool. Like the foam is really thick and stuff. And I was able to fold it in half, but fit a folded in half sock blank on it. So, hi everyone. So I'm probably going to try this, and we'll try another round of it and do this on a hank of yarn next. But I'm just sort of waiting for the first steam to finish and answering some questions. Have you ever heat set dyes from the tie-dye kits on yarn? That's coming up. That's a question that came up, and so I had it's a flawed experiment. There's a control I should have done that I didn't do. That means I'll have to redo it sometime to get all the controls done. But yes, I have a video coming out soon playing with tie-dye kits and heat setting. So yeah. Do we call ChemKnit? So I do ChemKnits. So I have the S as part of the name. Oh, you can also call me Rebecca. So you can either call me ChemKnits, you can call me Rebecca. I sort of missed the the question there, but yes, my name's Rebecca, and we have a Facebook group for ChemKnits fans. It's called ChemKnits Lab, and actually I can drop that into the chat, and then I'll see that other question. But yeah, and we've got over 450 people in the Facebook group now, and it's really, really fun to see all the beautiful colors that people create. And and the questions that you guys ask inspire the ideas for new videos, and it just it's great. I love it. I'm having so much fun. Hello. The foam makes you want marshmallow cream. Yeah, that would probably be a bit sticky for dyeing yarn though, but for eating could be nice. So the video that's coming up, I'm now not remembering. So I did heat. So I think I was looking at heat and time. And I don't think I used any vinegar. I think that next time, the repeat of that, so this is a Dye Pot Weekly episode that's coming up, I think the repeat I will plan to look at vinegar, heat, and time. There's basically, I dyed 3 skeins of yarn and I treated them different ways and then looked at them in the end. And there was a control I left out so therefore I want to repeat it and play with it. Thanks, little bean. Yeah, that was also, the Facebook group was an idea that came up in one of these live streams. And that's why I love doing this, because you guys chat, ask questions, and I'm like, oh, why don't we have a group? Because you guys being able to share the pictures with each other is so much better than just, and I don't mind if people still don't want to post and want to private message me pictures, but I always felt bad that, people couldn't see what you were doing, and it's just really, really, it's just a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm really liking this foam, and now that I've tried this once, I know that I was poo-pooing on using whipped cream, because I'm not up for using dairy for dyeing yarn, but I might try it because, well, depending on how this washes out of the yarn. Yeah, no, I'll go, once I'm all done with the stream, I'll go through and approve new Facebook group additions. Yeah, people post pictures of what they dye, and then there's a lot of pictures of what they make out of the yarn that they dyed as well, which is something that I'm not always able to provide just because of time limits. But oh, speaking of, okay, I was like, did I leave this at my mom's house? Because we went to my mom's yesterday. So I'm working on, and okay, I doubt he's watching, or if he's watching, I doubt he's listening. I wanted to make this hat for Keith for his birthday or Christmas this year, and it didn't happen. So I'm working for, next year already. But this is some yarn that Lucas dyed. This was the first, oh, too bad the pinks aren't showing up. This was the first yarn that he dyed with me using Easter egg tablets almost a year ago, just a little over a year ago. So I am turning it into a hat for Keith, and it's one of my, it's like the wide brim skull cap pattern. It's a free pattern on ChemKnits.com, and just a very, it's funny because I did a pretty generic one and people asked for the pattern, and I was like, oh, okay, and so sometimes then it was one that I almost didn't, but this is the, so it's a bunch of greens with a little bit of brown and hints of pink in it. And the yarn is beautiful, but the colorway felt a little too mature for Lucas. And so then Lucas did another one that is, wait, is that one Ryder's hat? So I think Lucas's hat is when he hand painted with the pink, purple, and orange. Lucas is my 4-year-old, and then I have a 2-year-old named Ryder. Oh, awesome. Thank you. So the reason why I won't want to use shaving cream is mostly a personal one. I don't like the smell of shaving creams, like at all. I tend to be pretty sensitive to scents, and so I don't love the idea of a fragrance really sticking behind in the yarn. Sometimes you get a little fragrance left over with Kool-Aid, which, you know, I can deal with, but aha, there's our timer. All right, I will be right back with our yarn. Oh, and as I'm going to get that, here is some of the residual pretty colors. Eek, 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 timer. Please tell me, all right, I was like, please tell me my tongs are clean. I have like a whole stash of my like non-food equipment in the shed, and then so that way things don't get mixed up. Actually, that's why my tongs are like blue and everything, but right here. Oops. Here is, there is our jelly roll that hopefully will cool in not too long. Okay, of course I can't see if I brought this out and you guys can see it. Oh, good, you can see it. And so now, if you're just joining in, today is sort of a sneak peek of what the behind the scenes videos look like on the Patreon. So I am filming an episode. If you tuned in late, you'll be able to see this all in a pre-filmed video at some point, hopefully next week. So 20 minutes have passed and I just removed our sock blank from the steamer basket. And yeah, it's warm to touch, and I know we've got some rinsing ahead of us, but hopefully we will open it up soon and it won't, whatever the soy protein was and sugar won't cause us much of a problem. But I'm going to let this cool before we unwrap it. And oh, you think Facebook is being inundated because it keeps telling you it's unavailable right now? Uh-oh. That's not, yeah, all the Facebook stuff is not great for many reasons. All right, and I can swap out the battery on my nice camera on, oh, so it's like, oh, I can't move my webcam is perched really precariously. But since I'm behind the scenes, let me show you guys the camera that I usually use for filming. So this is a Canon EOS 80D. And I had the 70D beforehand, but then the shutter died because I had taken so many pictures. So I had to get a new camera base. And I'm thinking that I now actually want to send out the broken one to get repaired. But for a while that felt a little prohibitive. And I mean, I use this for a lot of the photography I do with my family, but I really like filming with it. And I have a really short lens that I love, but I don't like filming with it because the autofocus is really loud. So that one doesn't make a good filming camera. So I use basically one of the kit lenses as I'm filming. But this is my my camera, and I have it up on a tripod, which is a pretty inexpensive tripod from Amazon, and it works pretty well. But I do not leave the camera on the tripod when my kids are awake, because that would be dangerous. The dinosaur. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Well, I like putting my boys in really bright. I like putting them in bright colors, and yeah, it also just felt this colorway is like still beautiful but more subtle, and it is something that would be fun for Keith. I mean, Lucas wanted something rainbowish, and this doesn't quite feel rainbowish enough to me. But yeah, I first got the nice camera when Lucas was born because he was moving too fast to take pictures on my cell phone. Before that, I was using a little Canon PowerShot to film my videos. So, yes, but I'm so glad so many of you are in the chat today. If I miss a question, please when my head pops up, re-ask, because I don't want to miss anything. But I think that I'm going to wipe off that cookie sheet, and I think we're going to go. I want to go again and try this on some yarn, because I think that the potential for some really cool unique kind of colorway is there. So yeah, and I put my boys in matching clothes a lot. And since when we moved here and had a house, then I got a sewing machine, and so I make like applique, like holiday themed clothing for them, and it's really fun. So yes, it's a very simple stockinette hat with a really long, really long ribbed brim. And mainly, the main reason for designing this one in the beginning, Keith's head's a lot bigger than mine. So if I design a hat and knit a hat that fits my head well, then it doesn't fit him as well. And so I did this so that way, so there's a gorgeous hat that I made him using this knit one below technique years ago. And he wears it, and you can see the part that's supposed to be hidden under the brim, and it bothers me because the crafter. But he loves the hat. So, and then I designed and made him this hat. But then I shipped a package of all the hats to Boston for Christmas, and the package went missing in the mail with about hand knit things for about 10 people in it. And it was devastating. But yeah. But yeah, so the I think it's wide brimmed skull cap, and you can find it on Ravelry, and I mean the pattern's on my website. But yes. Well, yeah, I mean, do I dye for myself? Yes. Yes, dyeing these videos is my business, but I enjoy, I don't do anything that I don't enjoy. And some of the yarns the only time I've sold yarns was through the Kickstarter. So I had some that definitely had more than some that I kept for myself that I couldn't let go of. So, but I'm going to stand up, and we are going to dye some more yarn. Hooray, hooray, hooray. I'm really kind of giddy today. I think that I've been really tired this week. And so I'm having extra fun today. But, okay, so then here's you bet some thieves are wandering around with your lovely knit goods. Oh yeah, package thief. Oh. Well, the thing is, where I mailed it to, the package would have been stolen from. I think that it must have gotten damaged and is lost in the post office, somewhere. But I was very, very sad. And okay, this is pulling, and here is our pan. I don't think I could wipe this down more, but I don't think I'm going to. I don't think I mind if there's some residual color when I'm doing this. Oop. And as of course I dye myself, because that's what I do. When I'm debating, filming. Okay, I think I'm going to film this one as an episode as well. So you'll get to see me do some of the beginning. And so I'm like, we'll make this a double feature. But all right, so now you get to watch me play for my pre-filmed camera. Uh-oh, if I turn on the camera. All right. Hi, I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and I'm here today with a second video featuring these Color Whip food safe foams to make sort of a marbled colored yarn. Earlier I filmed this with oh goodness. See, this is where, you know, when you're live watching me, you see me mess up. Earlier I filmed a video using one of these kits with a pre-knit sock blanket, but now we're going to use this on a skein of yarn and see when we play with the marbling what kind of beautiful colors we can get when we then roll some yarn somehow into the foam. So let's get started. And I just realized I am going to need a new bowl to make this foam in, but I'll go ahead and open up this kit. And okay, I am, can you tell I was frustrated by the packaging? All right, so, because I know some of you just tuned in, the kit comes with 4 colors of food coloring, red, green, blue, and yellow, and then this packet of powdered foam. And the edible foam that comes in this kit is composed of sugar and some enzyme modified soy protein. And the foam that we got was actually really sort of thick, and it was stable for a long period of time. So you do have some time to sort of get everything together after you've whipped up the foam. And let's see. Tons of neon yarn. Oh, neon, really bright neon green. Oh, yeah, Lucas loves orange, and Ryder seems to be more of a green fan. So, okay, but now, okay. The yarn I'm dyeing today is some Stroll fingering weight yarn. This is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. I pre-soaked the yarn in some tap water with 3 tablespoons of white vinegar. And then I put it through my salad spinner to remove the excess yarn because that seemed like a good idea for then adding the yarn onto our colorful foam. All right, now I need a container and got a bowl and I'm gonna add some water. You're not supposed to use room temperature water. Okay. And I'm trying to see, am I out? No. Since I've got the 2 cameras set up, I am trying to make sure that we can see on both cameras. There we go. Okay. I'm going to move that over there. Oh no. Tripod slipping. Ah! I'm bad about locking. There we go. Locking that so that does not slip. Okay. So, I better get my mixer. So I think that, I mean, it definitely did not take 3 minutes to get the stiff peaks that the kit said. But I still think it's worth using a hand mixer. And now I am going to film. So the kit instructions say to mix for about 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Oh, goodness. The kit says to mix with an electric mixer for about 3 minutes or until you get stiff peaks. But I found that things sort of were ready to go a lot sooner than 3 minutes. Nevertheless, I still don't think that I would choose to mix this up by hand. I did not pick the best bowl for this, but sorry for the noise, everybody. Okay, so we've got soft peaks right now, but we want hard peaks. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at that! Oh, can you not see? I've got like 2 nice little whipped holes in there from where the beaters once were. So yeah, these are definitely stiff peaks now. And I did not clean off the cookie sheet from the way that I had used this before, but I'm going to use sort of get resituated and then use my spatula to spread this foam out onto a cookie sheet. So then we can add the food coloring and then add our yarn. But since this is my last foam kit, I can put this in the sink. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Clearly I've missed something that's going on in the chat, but I think that it's awesome. So consistency-wise, because you guys can't really like touch and feel this along with me, consistency-wise, it's a lot more like Cool Whip than a spray whipped cream. So just in case you were wondering. And okay, I've got gloves. Now, in theory, I could choose other colors of food coloring instead of the ones that came with the kit, but I still think I want to use the ones that came with the kit just because I think that that would be fun. But I have a feeling that before the year is done, I will be playing around with this with some Cool Whip. It seems inevitable to me. But let me make sure that I've got the pan centered sort of on the webcam. So that way, there we go. You guys can see. And wait, did someone take a 9-month-old hat and then you saw it walking around? All right, so let's get started spreading out. Uh-oh, I just tossed a food coloring towel onto the floor. I think it'll be okay. Let me get this camera like zoomed out a bit. All right, so I'm not worried about the residual food coloring. I could have wiped it down, but I'm now going to, yeah, and there's still some on the spatula as well, but I'm going to start spreading out this foam. The consistency is pretty thick. It's a lot more like Cool Whip than like a spray, what do you call it? Spray whipped cream. But less thick than, say, shaving cream. So, sort of spreading this out. And so in the last time, I added the colors sort of all over the foam. And I mean, I have no idea how I would make this exact foam from scratch, but you could absolutely get these kits, use this foam, and then save these food colorings for something else. But Again, I'm going to sort of cut this to separate them, and then I'll clip corners off. And you know what I didn't do, everybody? I didn't lay out any plastic wrap to wrap up the yarn. But that's okay. We'll see what happens. All right. So this time, I think I'm going to try to add the food coloring to sort of quadrants, and then we'll sort of mix it together a bit more. These do have like slots on them where I could tie off the, like I could tear off the top, but I was honestly just nervous to do that. But you can add some splatter red to the other side. Let's do some green around here. And it's funny, I wonder what the volume is inside these kits. It doesn't really say what the volume is over here. And, but I'm going pretty random, but also getting some just mixed in, and then we'll sort of swirl this around. Because last time I didn't want to swirl it very much, just because I was afraid, because I had the colors sort of more all over, but I was afraid of over mixing it and getting all one color. But this time I think that I can play around a lot more with the swirling. And yeah, so I have no idea what shaving cream would do when heated. It's certainly worth trying, but I'm pretty sensitive to the smells usually. So, okay, here is our really pretty palette. And now, the instructions say to use a toothpick. And maybe if you're doing an Easter egg, that would make sense to use something smaller, but maybe I will pull out a toothpick in a second. I mean, this foam is like really thick, so my marble swirls may not be perfect. But again, I've never really tried any kind of marbling before, so let me get a toothpick. Have them right here. But I love, yeah, so you could get some, I mean, it's funny because if you're dyeing an egg like this kit is intended for, then some of these more like little swirls can make a difference. But I sort of am digging, ooh, it could be cool like with snow dyeing to sort of mess things around a bit. I mean, the foam is no longer even, even around here. And if I tilt it, I'm not sure if you can get a sense of the topological pattern, but certainly this foam is not going anywhere. So, all right, now I am ready to sort of add the yarn, and I think what I'm gonna do is get really, really messy. So I'm gonna add the yarn, sort of, I'm gonna try, see if I can do this and sort of like spread out and add the yarn onto one side, and then spread out and sort of add yarn onto the other, press down a bit, and then lift, press, and just kind of go nuts. That is my plan. So maybe I won't even need plastic wrap, because as long as I don't over mix it too much, I should get color sort of all over. But yeah, this, I mean, there definitely will be white patches, but you can see that I have, you know, I'm soaking up the foam slowly, but there is still absolutely color in a lot of different places. So, you know, I mean, would you be able to tell that you got marbled, you know, if you're just using yarn, not necessarily, but this is actually pretty cool. Oh, sorry guys, I moved it a bit. Okay, and look at my gloves. I've got some cool, you know, this is really cool for keeping the colors separate. I've been playing around with like using yarn as a mop to mop up colors, and I really don't think that I would be able to have done something like this without the foam. I think that the colors would have mixed together too much, and that you still would have had some separation of color, but I mean, you get, within here we've got secondary colors, but you can pick out red, blue, yellow, and I mean green is a secondary color. But I am now, oh, please tell me, oh no. I'm now turning up the heat on my steam basket. So that way we can steam this pretty guy. And I'm not gonna bother with plastic wrap on this one. So now I'm gonna say that on camera. As I'm waiting for my steam pot to heat back up, I am basically just letting this sit. I could wrap it up in plastic wrap, but I don't think that's necessary. We have, right now at least, discrete blue, red, yellow, green patches, and colors that have mixed together. So I honestly don't mind if the yarn touches each other and if there's some color transfer. But I'm now going to put some gloves back on, pick this up, and put it directly into my steamer basket. Hopefully without making too much of a mess. And since I took off my good glove, I'm going to use one of these that came included in the kit. Sort of pick up the yarn, and hey, it's not dripping. That's nice. And it is in the steamer basket, and I'm setting a timer for 20 minutes. And then I'm going to come and chat. But the last thing that we have to hope is that this will rinse out of the yarn okay. But that's something that you'll probably won't happen on the live stream, but you'll have to wait for the edited videos. The yarn is sitting in the steamer basket, and I'm going to let it steam for 20 minutes before we remove the yarn. Now, the yarn that is in the steamer basket is going to cool a lot faster than this soft link that we did in the jelly roll. And that's because when I remove it, like it's like, you know, the heat, there'll be more heat exchange, and so that'll cool off faster. But hopefully before I sign off, I will share what the one that we, the sock link looks like. The no drip is fantastic, yes. I know, this is really fun, and the colorway will be like, you know, you're not gonna get, well, you could get some pooling, but it's so random that it's gonna be just really fun. I mean, this is the kind of yarn that if you're gonna use to make socks, would you get matched socks? You would get a good like coordinating pair. They wouldn't be identical, but that's okay. I mean, sock lengths and identical are awesome, but the yarn should be really fun too. Yes, I am amazed. Like so you'll see, I've got some videos coming out where, again, I mentioned that I've got, you know, I do some sort of like rubbing, and, you know, you get like a lot of, there's still variation in the color, but there is some mixture as well. But the yellow still popping is amazing, and that is entirely because of the foam. So, yeah, so do you guys have any questions or anything? I know there was a lot of chat, and so I missed some stuff, and it's not easy to scroll back up and read backwards. But if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer things and hang around a bit so that way we can see what the yarn looks like after we've steamed it. But again, I think this is a nice time to sort of pop my Patreon link into, hey, thank you guys. I see that I have, and I don't see the names, but I have 3 new patrons. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. I just popped the link into the chat. There's a bit of a delay. That's why you'll see the link before you hear me say that I put the link in. But if you've joined more recently, Patreon is sort of a crowdfunding platform where you can really become a patron of an artist or a creator, and choose to give a monthly contribution to whatever the project is that the person is creating. And so in my case, you'd be able to subscribe to give monthly contributions to help fund all of these fun dyeing videos that you see here. And there's some really cool rewards, like early access to one dyeing video a month, behind the scenes sneak peeks. This whole video is sort of a sneak peek of what the exclusive sneak peeks will look like. So I'm going to do for patrons these live streams while I'm filming an episode. And so I'll be taking takes, but also chatting in between. So the final edited episode will be available for everyone, but the behind the scenes stuff, or the behind the scenes replays, which won't be as long as this stream today, but the behind the scenes things will remain exclusive for patrons. So everybody will get the cool content. There's just, a little bit difference there. And what else was I going to say? Yes, but I'm still, the Patreon is helping me create these awesome dyeing videos that I can share with everybody. And so my goal is to encourage people to dye yarn at home and to teach people fun and innovative ways to do that, and to push the boundaries of the conventional ways to dye with color, and also try out more conventional techniques as well. It's a learning process for me, for you, for all of us together. And I'm committed to creating and at least 2 videos a week, and I'm still going to do live streams that are public, that involve all these techniques. I just normally, when I do a live stream, don't also film an episode of Dye Pot Weekly at the same time. So that's the main difference. But the 2 videos that I'm filming today, I am going to try to get out by next weekend. I am hosting a Seder for Passover, so that could be the reason why there could be a tiny bit of a delay for the release, but I'm aiming to get it out next weekend. Patrons get a blooper reel once in a while. Well, yeah, there have been some bloopers in today's video, because when I live stream, I sort of just, do my stream of consciousness. But when I film an episode, I try to have more complete sentences. I can't help it in live streams. And I say this lovingly, I can be scattered-brained and easily distractible. And so that comes across a lot in the live streams. And I try to still have my enthusiasm, but make things clearer in the pre-filmed videos. Oh yeah, slime, yeah. So I saw, yes, I wouldn't, it would seem really cool to use eggs and egg foam. And I think that as a foam, it would work nicely. But then adding heat, then you'd have an omelet. Not ideal. Huh. Oh man. But yeah, so well, my kids, so I do 3 Seder plates. I do the real Seder plate. We have a kids craft kids Seder plate, and then we go in a play kitchen, and then we pull foods to make one more Seder plate. There's a turkey leg in there, and so that's the yeah, it's fun. Then each kid has a Seder plate they can play with. But my family Seders tend to be, well, my grandfather is 85, and so he tends to try to get to serve the meal as quickly as possible. So they tend to be chaotic and fun, but pretty short, all things considered. So, yeah, but this year, so Easter usually falls during Passover, which I first met Keith's family at an Easter dinner. Fun fact, and it was during Passover, and I was a little nervous, but I was able to. The meal was actually planned not knowing that I was observing Passover by family friends, and I was able to eat everything except for the rolls, so that worked out nicely. And yeah, but this year, it's Seder than Easter, and so it's gonna be a busy weekend. But yeah, I hope that anyone who is observing one of the holidays will have a nice weekend. But the biggest, well, Okay, no, I don't want to. The nice thing about Easter being over is that then all the Easter egg die kits go on clearance. So these kits were $3 each at Roach Brothers, which is a chain of supermarkets in Massachusetts. And I'm sure that you can, like, I didn't find these exact ones that say Star Shaw's, which is also Jewel-Osco and Publix, kind of like depending on the region. But maybe these ones would be able to be found at Target or something. But when Easter is done, then it goes on clearance, and then you can go and pick up Easter egg dyeing kits for cheap. Until then, you won't be able to have them for the next year. And I have a lot of videos with Easter egg tablets on the channel that you can enjoy. And yeah, when we get to unwrap the yarn, I'm going to go check on the soft like right now. I hope to unwrap that tonight. Wait. You think Wilton's will work in a foam since the gel rather than a liquid? Well, I think that some of it would, if you did like a toothpick, some of it would dissolve as you went. But I would probably, as was suggested, I would take some hot water and make a really concentrated liquid out of it, and then add that onto the foam. But it would be interesting because I'm sure you would see some breaking on the foam itself. Yeah, this is still pretty warm, but look at some of these colors that we got. It's still yarn, but I will definitely, if it has not, so there's 10 minutes left on the timer for the other yarn, which is looking awesome. Now, the real question with all this is how much washing will I need to do? So some sprinkles sometimes require a lot of washing, and so that way the yarn doesn't feel stiff. But sometimes it depends on the type of yarn and how much the sprinkles dissolved and all that. But I try to be pretty clear about like my wash steps and how all that turns out. Your kids are off today for 2 weeks. Yeah, my kids will be off for all of Passover. So yeah, but yeah, so next week the kids have school, or they have 2 days of school. They have Friday off because of the Seder, and then the whole next week they're home. So there might not be live streams while they're home, but I'm hoping. So after I'm done today, and then today's Friday, and then Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm hoping to film a lot of episodes so that way I can get editing done with them running around. It's just, if they're awake, it's hard to film an episode. Oh, that would be cool too, to sort of make foam different colors and like whip it up like icing and then do that. Ooh, that would be fun. No, but they are at a Jewish school, so the school shuts down during Pesach because I think it would be hard to, since there's different levels of observation, it would be hard to have everything be kosher. Because otherwise it's like kosher vegetarian. We don't keep kosher at home, but we send we send dairy meals to school. So yeah, I think it would be hard to accommodate, and also it would be hard if for people that use separate dishes for Passover, it'd be hard to have different lunch boxes and all that. So yeah. Excuse me. I'm having fun. I hope the quality, it says that I'm having the quality is bad right now. So I hope that it's coming through okay. But yeah, I lost the chat. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. I am really excited to see how this yarn turns out. Really, really excited. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy playing around with new techniques, and I wouldn't have known that this craft foam had even existed if someone hadn't posted about it in the ChemKnits lab. So I'm like, oh, I need to go find it and try it. And so yeah, sometimes you guys send me some really, really creative suggestions and stuff sometimes. So that's always a lot of fun to play around with. The reason why I haven't tried, you probably could use sugar icing as a medium. it would just require a lot of washing and could be hard to get out of the fibers. And so that's always my concern. I mean, I might try it at some point just to see, because now, like, you know, the like really concentrated tubes of frosting and stuff in the supermarket. I might have to try it at some point just because it's colorful and I'm me, and so I might have to try it and either give like a thumbs up, or occasionally I do something that doesn't really work well and that I don't recommend. Like when I dyed the yarn with a Halloween candy, I never thought I would do it, but I got a bunch of questions, I did it, and now candy hearts are probably one of my favorite like tools for dyeing yarn ever, because of they end up with like this really vibrant, bright color, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, so maybe I haven't bought any with that purpose yet, but hey, it's fun. It's fun to explore and to experiment. Some other things that, well, I'll give you some. Since this is a sneak peek of sneak peeks, I'm going to give you guys some spoilers of what I'm going to be working on later this afternoon, as long as I still have time. I have a color mist, one of the silver color mist sprays. Now, I'm not expecting the yarn to look silver, but we could get a really cool gray. So I'm curious how that will come out. And I also have some natural food coloring, which in some respects could work. Some of the colors could stay behind, but some of it might not. So I'm curious to see about the potency and how that lingers and how hard it is to rinse out. So those are two things I'm planning on playing with today. So there, then the sneak peek, you get a little spoiler. Sorry guys. Oh man. It's been a big week. But yeah, thank you. Oh goodness, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone who has pledged today for the Patreon. I really appreciate it. I think that, yeah, I'm really excited, and I know. So the live streams that I do for the behind the scenes sneak peeks will be fairly. I'm not sure how far in advance I can schedule them, because sometimes like I'm not sure like exactly when I can start filming, but hopefully I'm going to be experimenting with the live streaming through. You can live stream on YouTube through the Patreon platform, and so I'm going to be exploring with that. But the archives of all those behind the scenes will be available, and so and then I can probably start adding maybe some polls to see about like the best times of day to try at some point, and so. Yeah, I think like the first month or two, I'm sort of like finding my sea legs, and then we'll be able to like have a more predictable sort of scheduling for the way things work. Yes, so the shiny sprays. So yeah, I might try beets and blueberries sometime. I forget what the natural food coloring has in it. It's definitely, I think it's the red is beets, I think, and I forget the yellow might be turmeric. I don't remember. Blueberries and beets would be fun. No, so today, this morning, my avocado dyeing came out. I totally forgot that video came out this morning, and I didn't even check it to see if I got any comments on that yet. And again, I never would have tried dyeing yarn with avocado if I hadn't. I got asked about that like probably 10 or so times, and I was like, all right, I gotta try this. So I did, and so there's a video on that came out this morning. And I do plan to play around with some other food-based natural dyeing sort of techniques from things that you can easily find in your kitchen. I have a natural dyeing kit of dyes that were extracted from plants and stuff that I plan to play around more with this summer going forward. So, can you whip powdered sugar, water, and cream with tartar? I'm not sure. So yeah, I don't know what the soy protein, the enzyme modified soy protein. I'm like that. Could be a lot of things. I don't know what the enzyme was. And yeah, I'm not sure. Ooh, I should ask my material scientist husband about making some things that will foam. Maybe he'll have some good suggestions. But yeah, I think that, I don't know, I just have a ton of fun. I have so much fun doing this, and you guys make this fun for me. I mean, I have fun dyeing yarn and stuff anyway, but I have so much fun interacting with all of you, and it really helps energize me to try things that I never thought I would try. And again, with the example of the candy hearts, I sort of like was like, I don't know about dyeing yarn with candy. I mean, like how crazy or out of the box can I really go? But then I had so much leftover Halloween candy that I was like, let's give this a try. And then the results were pretty cool. And so then, I'm at the supermarket and I see the candy hearts and I was like, well, these are almost like Easter egg dye tablets, but probably with some less dye. But I wonder what will happen. And then I found something that I really enjoy as a medium. So as a dye source. So that's why I keep saying I have a list of probably about 100 ideas, at least, of videos I want to do. And some of the ideas on that list were dip dye yarn in jacquard acid dye. So of course there's a gazillion more videos that I could do with that technique. But each time I film a video, I feel like I have, it can spin off into other directions. So sometimes it's a shame that there's only one of me and that I have limited time. So the problem with powdered egg whites is that if you cook egg, there's some things you could use that you couldn't get out of yarn. As fun as it would be, I will never use M&Ms to dye yarn because I don't want to try to wash the chocolate out. So that is some of my reasoning. Oh, thank you, Linda. It's fun. Sometimes I see for the ChemKnits Lab Facebook group, I have questions mainly to just ensure. The only requirement is I want people to have express an interest in fiber arts. Because it's called ChemKnits Lab, I get a lot of chem people who join all these chemistry groups trying to join, which is fine, but they don't necessarily, I don't think that they're interested in fiber arts. But the question just for fun was how did you hear about the group? And so sometimes I get a bunch of people because someone mentioned it in another group, and that is awesome and a huge, huge way to support me. Because that, when you guys share what I do with other people, then I get new viewers, and it's a big, big way that helps me grow. All right, now I'm turning off the hot, and ow, that was hot. I better turn the computer so I can see what you guys can see. Okay, so this was, all right, I'm definitely going to unwrap that before we're done, but I wanted to make sure I can put this where you guys will be able to see it. Oh. Okay, so I will say the water underneath the steamer basket looks clear. Here is our yarn, and I'm going to hold it up to the webcam once it stops steaming as much because I don't want to fog over the webcam. But this, I mean, it looks almost exactly like it did when we put it in. Maybe there's some more purples on the inside. This is amazing. So let me, and now I'm going to film, since I'm filming an episode. I just took the yarn out of the steamer basket, and it is amazing. There's still yellow patches, and you see primary colors. There's some areas where maybe some of the colors ran together a bit, but this really reminds me, it's like an impressionistic yarn with all of these colors together. I checked, and the water bath under the steamer basket was clear, so the color all remained in the yarn. It didn't drip down. I am a little concerned about the foam. I don't see it right now, but I certainly, okay, so the yarn feels sort of, and it's not slimy, but you can tell that there's something on it that is not just wet yarn. So this will require some washing, but for now, I'm going to let it cool a little bit before I start the rinsing process. Okay, and since I filmed that, I'm moving the tripod so I can get in here a little better. Eventually, I'll have 2 tripods, and yeah, too bad I can't rig up some like filming cage. Okay, but let me give you guys a close up. So this more section that might look, I can't see how well the colors are coming out, muddy. We've got some like really nice blues and purples in there. So there's definitely some brights, but also some really deep colors. And this really does remind me of the roving that I did that then I called a garden party that was in a very recent Dye Pot Weekly episode. So right now, oh wait, you can't tell thumbs up or thumbs down. Okay, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Now we just have to hope that I can rinse the foam out. And wow, the colors really do not look, oh, the color, you can't see on the live stream camera the nuance of the colors. Let me try to bring it over here and see. Okay, looks like spaghetti, full dose of fire, yeah. Wait, Melody, you made what out of PVC? I missed what you said, but yeah, so I mean, I use PVC for my knitting naughties and stuff. Yeah, Skittles, I used Skittles before, in the day after Halloween special. So let me see if, maybe the colors aren't reading better. Like there's a brightness to them. It's harder for me to sort of on the fly update the color balance. Sometimes I might need an assistant at some point to help me with that. But my plan, and I'll unwrap the blank before I'm done. But so is wool food safe? I don't know. I mean, I am comfortable using cooking dishes when I'm dyeing yarn with food coloring. But everybody has a different level of comfort. But when I'm using commercial acid dyes or something that is not a food safe ingredient, or I use tie-dye and all that stuff, I have a separate set of pots, utensils, so like slotted spoons, tongs, etc., that I use for that. So yeah, but this yarn is so cool. The colors, like it looks a lot darker to me on the screen. And let me see. Yeah, the colors, there's more brightness to it than what's showing up there. Hopefully on the edited video I'll be able to make that clear. But yeah, I think this yarn is like, this is really, really fun. Well, let me put it this way. If I find more of these kits, then I'm going to buy some more. Well, okay, and I will, when I'm washing things tonight, I will let you guys know if I observe anything that makes this like turns this into a thumbs down. But I'm feeling really optimistic and really like that this is a good, fun way to play around. And especially, this is a really fun one to do with kids. Not a 2-year-old maybe, but potentially a 4-year-old could have some fun. Like it's basically like finger painting, and you could make, if you had foams in different pots, we talked about mixing them like icing color, they could use those and sort of massage it onto the yarn, and that could be really cool and really, really fun. So yeah, I think that there is a really, really good potential here for playing. Let me go and unwrap this blank and see. Oh, but my rinsing plan is to sort of get a basin of warmish water. So things won't cool 100%, but I want to use some warm water. And then put it in there to just sort of soak. And then I will do a lot of soaks and rinses. I fully expect, yeah, this is a little, well, I guess I could put it in some warm water. Where is my, okay, well, anyway, let me unwrap this and then I will go on a hunt. Oh, Linda, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. Yeah, I've been talking a lot today about the Patreon, but a big way to support, if you want to just on a one-time basis or, an occasional basis, an unregular basis, you can use the super chat button, which is the $ at the bottom of the chat. And that is just an easy way that you can contribute to the making of these videos. So thank you so much, Linda. All right, so now, since I'm filming an episode, I should film this. And zoom out. Okay, let's unwrap our sock blank and see how it looks. Oh, right, because there were 2 pieces of plastic. Ooh, look at that. This is the second side. This is the second side. Ooh. Of course, the center is still warm-ish, but that's pretty. It smells funny. It does actually smell a little bit like paint, actually. And that's sort of how I would describe it. Nope, wrong way. There we go. Okay, so this is the side that was facing up. So what we're seeing here, oh man! What we're seeing here is what sort of came all the way through from our 2-layer. Check that out. Okay, let's go and flip this whole thing over. Wow! Look at those colors! I mean, it's hard because of like the stitch definition, but you can see some of the spots where I actually got it to swirl. And there are spots where there's just so many colors in just a small area. It's really, really fun. And again, I think that the colors are showing up on the webcam a lot darker than they sort of appear in person. But I still have discrete yellow, red, big patch of green here, blue. And in this one, because I did this one earlier, I sort of splotched the colors all over the place. But yeah, my hands definitely, so it's sort of like candy. My hands feel sticky. So now I want to get some sort of warm water to put this blank in to start rinsing out that foam that has now sort of gone away. So, okay, I'm going to get, got one of my, I had a big tub, but, you know, if your hands feel sticky after touching the yarn, then that's how you know it still needs some more rinsing. And normally I tend to wash with a cooler water. I try to sort of match the temperature. If you do warm waters, you might see some more bleeding with food coloring and stuff. But when there's a lot of sugar and other stuff in the yarn, I like to start with warmer water just to help things dissolve and remove them from the yarn. So I'm just filling up my basin. And this is a tripod. I have to walk all the way around my kitchen. Sing a song. Okay. Here's my basin. Got to turn on the camera. Okay, so I've got some, it's not hot, but I've got some warm water here. And I am going to place the blank in here, start rinsing things out. And okay, immediately we see a bleeding of a little bit of the green. So yeah, I have no idea how much bleeding that we should expect from this. But apparently we will see some. Not none, but even with that bleeding, I mean, the colors are, the colors are staying like staying put. So yeah, I'm not sure if, you know, some food coloring bound to the residual foam or what, but this will go through sort of a number of washes. And because it's warm, I don't really want to leave the blank in this water. But when I sign off, oh, I forgot that I'm filming two things. Okay, live stream people. When I sign off, I'll probably go straight to washing this, but I don't really want to leave this in here for long because it could make some of the white areas a little muddier if some of this green starts to bind to other areas. So I'm squeezing it out and I'm going to set it aside. Now on camera. So since we see a little bleeding, I am going to go and start washing this right away and not just let it soak in the green water. But I will transition to a sink so that way we can wash it a bit better. All right, setting that there. And did the color go through to the back? Yes. Let me dump this water, and then I will come show. The color did go through the whole way. So the whole blank, you know, we've got this is the side that went down, and this is the sort of the wrong side of the second side. But then when we had it folded, we have some pale color all the way through. So I think that when this is unraveled, it'll be absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. And yeah, here is, so I'm going to do, and actually with just that one rinse, the yarn does not really feel slimy or sticky anymore. So I'm going to quickly do on the other, on the hank of yarn that we did as well. So bear with me, I will be right back with some water, and hang tight, and I think I'm going to send you to a quick I think I might send you to a quick commercial break. Thank you all for hanging tight through that. In addition to sort of the ads and the super chats and everything like that help support what we do here at ChemKnits. And by we, I'm using the royal we, so meaning me. And let's see. What will we knit this into? Let's see now. Yeah, I don't know, but oh, Margie, thank you. I'm so glad that thank you for the super chat. I'm glad that you're feeling energized and excited. That means a lot to me. All right, but I think everyone should be back from the ad break. This yarn is still a little warm, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in some water, and we'll see if we get a lot of bleeding there as well. And I'm standing up. Truly, I am. Okay. I need to make sure I can see the chat. Crochet socks. Ooh. All right. Okay, yeah, that is still a bit warm. And okay, so I've talked before about how bad I am with adding ties on, but therefore I try to like, oh, whoops, I didn't film. I try to hold on to like the skein as I'm doing it. And let me adjust the camera, and I just plopped the yarn into some rinse water, and we have a tiny bit of bleeding like we saw with the sock blank. I have no idea if the foam absorbed some color, and that's why we're seeing bleeding, but we've got a ton of color in this yarn. So I am not super worried. It's just we're going to need to go and wash it thoroughly to try to get the sugar stuff out and whatever that soy protein was, and then the excess color. But already the yarn is feeling less sort of slimy. So we will come back in a sink and wash the yarn. But yeah, so there's some residual color coming out, but I think, that happens sometimes. So I will wash the yarn, but I mean, check out all the colors. Like, it's just beautiful. Beautiful and happy, and yeah. So anywho, oh no. Like, my hands are wet and I'm trying to move the trackpad on here so that, oh no. So that way you can see my lovely, or at least my face. Let me make myself bigger, but there we go. Ah, all right. I can sit down. So this game, actually, it shouldn't be too tangled to cake. I've caked a lot of the yarns that I've dyed, and I'm really, really bad with ties. People who have received yarns that I've dyed, if they were really tangled when you're trying to cake them, let me know, and then I'll try to amend my practices. I'm pretty good at finding the ties and seeing sort of where things are and keeping it arranged. But oh, it is like a Joseph's coat of many colors. So I think normally the color that I have the worst issues with bleeding is blue. Blue or green. Very rarely red. It depends on what the most potent thing in there was. But whenever it's green, it surprises me because that means that it's both blues and yellows coming out. So yeah, but gosh guys, this has been really fun. I am beyond excited to edit these episodes together, and then you guys can see the difference between the way things happen live and then the way things look sort of behind my big, well, actually, I suppose my big lens is the pre-film. This is the little lens of the webcam. So, but I really like doing these live streams, and so I hope that you enjoyed this as not just a dyeing live stream, but also more of a behind the scenes look at what I do when I'm filming one of these episodes, and yeah, that how my brain works. But I really do make up a lot as I go along, and sort of, I have a plan to set things up, and then sometimes, like when I added the sock blank on top, I was like, oh, I'm only fitting half. Let's fold it in half, and that looked cool. And so you'd get, it's like a multicolored, wild sort of gradient. So I think that's really, really fun. Do I ever use commercial acid dyes? I absolutely do. Part of the Kickstarter was to help me, that I did last fall, was to help me fund the equipment that I needed to move into more commercial dyes. And I have a number of videos that have come out now where I've been playing around with commercial acid dyes. And I plan to be filming more with those early next week. So I really like them. I feel at this point I'm more comfortable, even though the techniques translate from food coloring to acid dyes really well, with the exception of using all stuff that you don't use for cooking when you're using commercial dyes, because with that, like, one exception, otherwise the amounts of vinegar and everything seem to translate really well. I love playing with jacquard black and silver gray, because those are two colors that I just don't get with food coloring. But I am excited to explore with mixing, using food coloring and then some acid dyes, or maybe using sprinkles with acid dyes, and just playing around with a lot of the different ways to combine some of these techniques. The fun thing about food coloring is that you can find it in so many forms. And yeah, but I'm just really excited to play around. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy my process and my technique. That is my goal. And my goal when it comes to safety, like for me personally, I choose not to put acid, like jacquard acid dyes, in my microwave. mainly because it's harder for me to clean my microwave and things like that. But I am comfortable, using them on my kitchen counter and washing the dishes in my kitchen sink. But so a lot of the comfort levels and things, the Jacquard acid dyes are something that are marketed to home dyers, and so you can use them in your kitchen, but you should use like separate equipment and stuff. But some people decide that they don't want to use their home kitchen at all, and that's fine. I think that there's a spectrum of where people's comfort levels lie. So, yeah, avocado dyeing is on the channel today. That is Dye Cut Weekly 30 something. I'm not always that good at remembering the numbers that correspond to the episodes, but yeah, so that's, I guess, one other fun thing about being a patron and getting the access to these behind the scenes sneak peeks is that sometimes, because of Dye Pot Weekly, like right now I'm filming Dye Pot Weekly episodes for May, just because of the way that, when they come out 1 to 2 new Dye Pot Weekly episodes each week, that means, and since they're numbered, I can't really shuffle the order very easily once I've edited and uploaded them. And so that just means that it can take a while. And sometimes I share something on Instagram and people are really excited to see it, but then it's not going to come out for like 6 weeks. So so it's a way that you can see, like you can immediately learn more about something like that I'm really, really excited about and new that I'm exploring, and you can get a little more information about it before the video is done, but on a real time scale. So like as I'm doing it, that's when I've shared it with you, and not just like a little teaser of the yarn or something. So yeah, maybe. Where is? Yeah, I think that you could. Oh gosh, there's so many different ways that. Linda, I'm looking that up right now. So, what are Angelina fibers? Ooh, those are pretty. So I'm not sure. I don't know what kind of fiber type it is. So it looks like that. I wonder what the Angelina is like. How much that's like Stellina and some other, because the Stellina isn't iridescent, but it is shiny. So I'm not sure what would happen. Maybe I'll have to get some and see like how dye affects it, or if it melts, or if it takes up color. So I found with the Stellina, which is like sometimes it comes in like silver or gold sparkle that you can get in yarn. When I did the dip dyeing with Wilton's Violet, the red number 3s did bind to the Stellina, and so but it's still sparkly. So you've got this like fuchsia sparkle at one end. Yes, I'm at ChemKnits on Instagram. Oh, I'm glad that you're so educated. You on Patreon page. Oh yeah, I should put the Patreon link in again. Part of the reason for the live stream today is a sneak peek of the sneak peeks that I'm going to offer on Patreon. Woohoo, woohoo. But don't worry, there'll still be live streams that are available to everybody. I'm just not going to be filming, usually won't be filming an episode for later. It would be nice if I was able to edit down all of the live streams to have highlights or something from them. And there is a way like, if I had a second person, someone could, while the stream was going, not only could they fix the like levels when they go strange, but they could, tag something for highlights, and then I guess you can have a highlights reel that comes up as a separate video. It's just hard for me to do as a mostly one-woman show. I mean, my kids, and I'm working on convincing Keith to make an appearance in a video. He's usually behind the scenes, sometimes helping. So, yeah, I'm not sure. It was just with the dip dye Broken Violet that the Stellina took some color. There's a recap where I try to zoom in. It was really hard to see it on camera. But yeah, it was pretty cool. And I think that like Wool to Die For says about Stellina that you want to be careful about using too much acid because then you could dye the Stellina and dull the sparkle. But I found that the sparkle was still like happy. But red number 3s can sort of stick to a lot of stuff. So Bavarian Rosewood. Wait. Oh, you guys were talking about the shed. I was like, wait, wood? What yarn? And I got confused. Yeah, we have a shed. Like a little garage. I'm planning to do some things out there this summer because I now have an electric hot plate, so I can heat things up outside. I think what's funny, and I'm still like looking into the safety of everything because the problem is, so when it comes to natural dyeing and mordants, is that there's a lot of people that say a lot of things about safety out there on the internet. But the problem is I'm having trouble finding sources that talks about disposal that aren't from like, that's not like amplified chatter from message boards and stuff. So I'm still looking into that, and especially because the people that give you the chemicals don't tell you how to appropriately dispose of them. But I think with a lot of mordants in general, you use a small enough of it that it all sort of gets absorbed into the yarn for your use later. But natural dyeing doesn't necessarily mean safe dyeing, because you sometimes have to use more chemicals to get things to stick. But I don't know. I'm excited to play around with that. And you need a warehouse. Yeah, I have one of those. They used to be called the Expedit things from IKEA. I think they're now Calyx. I have one, and it's like filled. My yarn's like overflowing. It's everywhere. Yeah, but my shed isn't like insulated, so I keep my like dyeing equipment, the non-food safe dyeing equipment out in the shed, but I can't store dyes and stuff out there because I worry about things freezing and bottles cracking and fun stuff like that. But anyway, I probably should head out, but thank you all who gave me super chats today. That's a really awesome way to, like, it's like a tip jar. It's an awesome way to support me and the materials and everything that I use in these videos. The Patreon is just a way that you can, if you enjoy these videos, it's a way for you to sort of contribute financially to this whole process on an ongoing basis versus a one-time or occasional basis like you can through Super Chat or something. So I just, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate all the support that you've shown me. And even with all the financial stuff, the biggest way you can support me is by watching and interacting with my videos. Like, that helps more people get to see it, and it's just really, really helpful and awesome. And so if you enjoyed this, please give the stream a like, and comment on my videos. I love questions. They inspire me, and I had a blast, and I cannot wait to finish filming and editing these episodes so that way I can share it with all of you. Well, you guys are the best. So, and I'm so glad that the chats are now saved so that way people can see them after the fact. But yeah, I'm blown away by the support that you have all showed me, and I appreciate it so much. But yes, one last time, I'm popping in that Patreon link. You can also find it in the video description. And thank you everyone for everything, and hopefully I will be able to chat with you all soon. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.